Well, it's time to wrap this week up, and we have certainly had a great week of trading, especially in the E-mini. What's really nice about the E-mini now is we got back some volatility that was noticeably lacking last fall and the first part of this winter. When you only have a one-way market, it's really, really hard to get the kind of volatility you need to push the market up and down. You got to have a two-sided market. You have to have sellers and buyers both competing for fills to generate this kind of volatility and action, which is why people go to the E-mini. I can handle the volume, and when it's got volatility, it's pretty good trading. Now, they do play games there. Every game that can be played is played in the E-mini. Okay, looking at the structure right here, pretty clean break in the volume at 1832, and we've got an attractor down here at 05, then at basically at 90. Now, in a bull market, 50 to 70 points is about all the correction you would expect. So 70 from the high at 92 would take us to 22. We've gone through that. If we're in a trading range market, you can have corrections of 150, 170 points. So 170 points would take us down to the 1722. 150 points would put us in the 1750 area. Not saying we're going to get there quickly, but those are parameters or stuff that we need to think about. We came in this morning wanting to be sellers based on yesterday's strong selling, and every one of our called levels worked today and did produce a nice short trade. And we got a long trade when we said if we don't take out 12, we can trade from the long side. That trade from 13 actually went back up to 28 for a 15-handle move. So these swings of 15 handles as the market goes from short to long or long to short is what people attracts people to this contract. Okay, we got a lower high and a lower low. That means we're looking for a place to sell it. Will the F2 screen agree? Screen will be up here in just a moment. Okay, we have a D pattern, but you can see that volume is moving lower through time, and it's this movement of volume through time that tells you which way the market's going to go. And in J period, we had a new move out of the middle. That did take prices lower. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see the 1805 area 4 to 5 before the selling is over, and then could get down 1790, 1800 also. That little 15-point range of 1790 to 1804. That's where the market could be. Right now, if you had to call a close, it'd be 12 to 13. The market has rejected prices above 20 and definitely above 27 during the day. So with the J split, this confirms that we're looking for a place to sell. You can see Y through I. It was a B pattern, more volume in the bottom half of the distribution than in the top half. So everything's told us to be a seller. Find a place to sell it today. Okay, based on a close at 1350 right here, we'd be selling 17s to 19s. Then back to our 24, 26. Let the market retest the 2750 area. Not too interested in getting long, but I make the first buy 4 to 6. And then 98 to 1800. Let them get stops beneath the buck. So that's it for the E-mini. Now, when we're in these situations where everything looks down, you have to ask yourself, what could happen that would change things? What would make the E-mini turn around from its recent selling? Well, some action by the Fed. If the Fed came out and said, you know, we're stopping the taper program, we're going to keep it right here, going to wait to see what the numbers look like over the next couple of months, that would give you a short covering rally. It probably wouldn't change the fundamentals, though. So that's about the only thing I can see right now in one announcement that could turn things around. I could see a string of economic reports that came in better than forecast, but I don't think it would be done on any one piece of news. It would have to take several pieces of news for the economic forecasts were handily beat. We do have news on Monday. Retail sales, I don't know what the estimates are. Last month they were plus 0.3%. Okay, on the note, the F1 screen, we got a higher low and a higher high. That suggests higher prices. We would be on the buy side on that. We definitely have resistance at 125. So 125 is the number that has to be taken out to hold the length in their positions. And the biggest motivator to get long in the note and the bond will be selling, heavy selling in the E-mini. Got a D pattern leaning P in the note. That favors a retest of the highs and or higher prices. And the market is pointed higher with a little help from the E-mini. Okay, last rotate up stopped at 27. Prior to that, 30. So we'll make the really don't like the sell side of the market, but so we'll leave it once again at selling failure to take out 28 to the buck. That's pretty easy to see. On the buy side, I'm going to leave it 17 to 21. We might get some help from the E-mini to get started. We'll adjust it when we come in on Monday. We have retail sales on Monday. I don't know what the forecast is right now, but that is a piece of news that could impact the trading pretty easily. Okay, for the 30-year bond, D pattern leaning P. The knob spread went out at 931.5. That was up for the day. Jimmy, if we take out 10, where's the next chart resistance on the knob spread? Sent you a PM earlier that you missed. You know, I should have known that. That's why my forehead is so flat when I smack my hand, open hand against my forehead. Should have known that, boy. So you can see right here in the value area, the congestion area, that there's definitely more volume above the midpoint than below it. So we got ourselves a P here. I think it's like it was this morning. Morning we had sell failure to take out 24 to 28. We'll make it 28 to 30. Focus will be the direction of the E-mini. 13 to 17, buy 1. Buy 2, 5 to 9. There'll be an obvious piece of news like retail sales or something like that that will tell us from which side to trade. We're close to resistance. 135 is one of those round numbers. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35. So that will bring in opposite activity in and of itself. Gold was pretty quiet today for gold, but I think a lot of the speculation and the rest of it rolled into the E-mini, and that can happen. Got a seller at 25, got a buyer at 15. Morning we wanted to buy 15s to 17s, sell 23s to 25s. We caught the market well. Both edges, both sides. We've got a B pattern that favors a retest of support. If we can get some help out of the E-mini, like the E-mini rallying back, we'll probably get that. I still don't think that gold will find anything but buying on weakness. And you just pick your trouble spot around the globe. Then you pick the central bank that you don't care for, whose activity, and that'll tell you why we've got buyers on weakness. We'll keep the same numbers we had this morning. Sell 1, 23 to 27. Sell 2, 28 to 30 on the buy side. I think we can go a little bit lower, so we'll make it 15 to 13. We got that volume down to 9. We'll make it 9 to 11 for buy 2. Well, crude's telling us that they're not messing around, Russia and the Ukraine, and that rounds could be fired at each other. I hope to get to shoot an M14 or an M1A this weekend if I can get my schedule. It's a much different feel than shooting an AR-15 or an M16, which I think that's the most magical rifle I've ever put in my hands. Growing up, all you shot were 300s, 303s, 30-odd 30s. They all 12-gauge shotguns. They all came with quite a kick, and the M16 didn't have that. Made that little funny sound as the mechanism in the stock absorbed the recoil. It really made, I mean, guns flat out to about 300 yards, 300 meters. Just really, really a fun weapon to shoot, but the lot more punch with an M1A or an M14, so that'll be fun to shoot. Also, it's funny. Most people talk about they like the 9mm. I really like the 45, and I don't know why. When I was in the service, I couldn't hit the barn with a bass fiddle with a 45, and everybody said it was the weapon. Really a lousy, poorly maintained weapon. And the 38 specials is what they let us shoot in the service, or we had to shoot revolvers at that. They did give us more than one bullet, but and I liked shooting the 38 special, but the 45 just has got a nice feel to it. Okay, this rotate started down at 1408, so we'll make 104.08, so 104 to 104.25 will be sell 1, basically 104 plus or minus, and then we'll make the 104.50 to 75 sell 2. If peace breaks out in the Ukraine, we'll be lower, but we probably won't break. On the buy side, it's really, really been difficult to buy better than 103, so buy 1 for the weekend will be 103, 103.25, and then 250, 275. If you don't know how to shoot, folks, I strongly recommend it. There's stuff going on now in our country that you wouldn't have imagined 25 years ago. I mean, the stuff some of these guys, I mean, there isn't a day that goes by that you don't read about some law enforcement agency breaking in to somebody's house, and quite often the ones we read about are the mistakes where a wrong person gets killed. And, you know, here we have these guys out acting like the military. Shoot first, ask questions later, and that's not the way it's supposed to work with cops or people out there that are protect us. But they're militarizing these local law enforcement agencies. And they're taking on roles and weaponry that they traditionally haven't had. And if you don't think riots for food and stuff can break out, I mean, we witnessed it in the 60s, just parts of cities burned down by rampaging crowds. And we see outbreaks all over the place. They call it wildings or flash mobs or whatever you want to call it. But better learn how to shoot. In self-defense only, of course. That's a beautiful weapon. I didn't shoot that. I shot a 243 a lot, long barrel, a varmint gun. I skipped from that on up to 30-06 was the next one, but occasionally a 303, sometimes a 30-30, which wasn't a real hot round back in those days. But I really liked that 243. I mean, it had more oomph, and you could get a bullet in the 75 to 90 grain range that was knock the socks off whatever it was that you hit with it. But the 270 is really popular out here for deer. I tell you though, for fun though, that damn M16, wow. I like that one. Like a toy. Okay, here we are. We wanted to buy 50s to 60s. We rejected prices below 67, so we'll make 65 to 75 by 1. That's really, really aggressive. And I wouldn't do this with a resting limit buy at those prices. I'd get my setup because we're paying up. I do like the buy below 50, just because stops below 50 ought to give us a bounce. And then we'll leave we had our sell 90 to the buck. I mean, we'll make it 95 to the buck for sell 1. And then 15 to 25 for sell 2. And that's all I have, folks. What a week. We shook that money tree pretty damn hard this week. And like I said, don't have to worry about my head getting too big. Helen will take care of that for the room. But it was a great week, and I know several people have messaged me about how much money they made and how much money they left on the table. And volatility will do that for you. It's really good, where you can really do well. Let me turn this off.